My name is Hussein. Hello, I am Hassan. This is a Chills podcast where we talk about different cities and cultures from all over the world. My brother and I, we love meeting new people and exploring different cultures. We believe that exploring new cultures is helpful because you will widen your perspective of the world, you will learn a lot about the humanity and how it differs worldwide, and also you will learn a lot about yourself by seeing yourself through others' eyes. Thanks for tuning in. Hong Kong has the world's largest number of skyscrapers with 7.5 million residents of various nationalities and, according to Forbes, Hong Kong is home to the second highest number of billionaires of any city in the world. It is the most popular Chinese city for tourists, receiving over 70% more visitors than its closest competitor Macau. Today, our guest is our friend Yin Chan. She is one of the most experienced travelers that we have ever met. And she's been to more than 140 countries. Yes, that's right, 140. And including Tajikistan, where we were lucky to host her. So please enjoy our conversation with Yin Chan from Hong Kong. Yin, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and could you please briefly talk about yourself and where you are right now?
Okay, so my name is Yin. I'm from China. I was born in mainland China, but when I was 15, I moved to Hong Kong with my family.
How do you say hi in your language, and what is the common way of greeting people?
Okay, so since you guys noticed a little bit about my background, so
Mhm.
basically, from my understanding, you want to know how to greet people in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
Because the way we greet people in Hong Kong is different from China. So since I'm in Hong Kong now, so I would say let's say good morning in Hong Kong, 早晨.
早晨.
早晨,
Mhm.
yeah. Or otherwise, it's just generally hello, hello, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And if people say ni hao, is it okay or people will not understand you?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, if people speak Mandarin or if they understand Mandarin, they will just understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we have different ethic or different other other cultural background. It's kind of a multicultural here in Hong Kong, but majority people they were Cantonese or Chinese people.
Mm-hmm. And the first one you said it's in Cantonese, right? Ji hao. What was that?
Which one?
The first one I
Ni
already
hao is
forgot.
Mandarin.
The first one.
That's good morning. Good morning
Yeah.
in Cantonese is 早晨.
早晨. I see. Wow.
早晨, Hussein, Hassan, 早晨.
早晨, Yin. And
yeah, that's good morning.
And when you meet
Yeah.
someone, do you shake their hands or you
Do you
hug?
just- So in Hong Kong, normally when people meet each other on a non-business occasion, they don't shake hands. They just like maybe wave hello, and yeah, we certainly have like a physical touch with each other. But in business occasion, we do shake hands.
Wow.
Also, it depends. Like if like for me, I like to hug or. But normally people they don't do that, and
Yeah, we
especially
remember.
nowadays, like under the COVID, yeah, we should stay for social distance.
Yeah, that's right. And majority of people they speak English, right?
Hong Kong is a kind of a bilingual city. We have like all the documents or all the road sign, all the all the things like Chinese traditional and English.
What does it mean to be polite in your culture?
In Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think most important it's just to follow the public rules. Like in Hong Kong, whatever vehicle you are in, as long you are in a public vehicle, it's not allowed eat or to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And also, whenever you need to queue, always queue. Don't be the queue jumper. Also, like, or when you were on the escalator, always stand on the right-hand side of the escalator. Because for the left-hand side, you have to offer to people who are in an emergency, in a hurry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it's just like public rules that made it for people to obey. Yeah, and if you break the rules and people think you're rude, you're not polite, you're impolite.
I see. How to ask someone, for example, if there's a lady you want to ask how to get to somewhere, how can you call her?
It depends on the lady's age. Normally we just start a question sentence with excuse me. I mean, excuse me in Cantonese.
Yeah.
It's like a guy. We don't usually address their name first or how you call them first. We just start the sentence with excuse me, which is guy.
Oh, that's good to know.
Guy means excuse me.
And how to say thank you in Cantonese?
多謝.
Wow.
唔該晒.
It's so different from 謝謝.
Yeah, because the tone of Cantonese and the structure is very, very different. In my perception, Cantonese is it's really a challenging language.
Yeah. But even though the tones are different, the pronunciations are different, but the characters in Cantonese and Mandarin are the same, right?
This is something we call Chinese simplified and Chinese traditional, like complicate.
Yeah.
In Hong Kong, we use the traditional writing, which is that some words might be the same with mainland China. Some words it's like more difficult to write. Yeah, like people prefer the difficult one instead of the simplified one.
Wow. Good. And just one more question about that. Can people smoke in the street, or you have special places, like areas?
I think nowadays, because just like for the past few years, we had a law that you can't smoke in the open air area. And let's say in the airport, we have some smoking room, only like the smoking room area, like a specific place.
Yeah.
So like you can't smoke in the restaurant, but I know like in mainland China, you are allowed to smoke, right? So which is different. And let's say if a person, a traveler from mainland China, they come to Hong Kong, but if they don't understand this, they smoke, and if people are not very tolerant, they will think, oh, they are rude. So that's like based on the like communication, and like for newcomer, they don't know. So you just can't allow them to know, and I'm willing to believe that they are willing to follow your rules. That's kind of like local culture.
Yeah. And what about the tips? If you go to the restaurant, is that okay to leave some tips?
Yeah. But in Hong Kong, it's like people are very funny. Normally in other countries, people are welcome for tips, right?
Yeah.
But in Hong Kong, like people are not caring much about the tips. Like they are not very demanding for tips.
I see. It was.
But sometimes it's automatically added in the payment. Yep.
Yeah.
But it's not as another. I mean, let's say like in England, if you don't leave a tip, somehow people might think you are rude. But in Hong Kong, it's just totally fine.
Oh, yeah. It was the same in mainland China.
Yeah.
Good.
But we do have something different. It's like we really respect the service provider. Let's say we are very polite to the waitress or waiter. We always start to call them with a excuse me or guy if you want to order something. No, we don't think their service is for granted.
Yeah. And maybe it's different for everyone. Do you have like the average tip? Like how much is it?
Well, I think in Hong Kong normally it's like 10%. 10% tips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but sometimes it's automatically added in the bill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like separately leave some coins or something like that.
I see. Yeah, and you can also see that's the 10% for the tips.
Yeah, I think so.
Good. Okay. Okay. What might surprise foreigners if they visit Hong Kong?
Okay. The first thing is Hong Kong used to be in the history used to be very tiny, small fishing village, and until today, Hong Kong is so-called the Asia World City. It's really, really crowded in Hong Kong. Like the buildings, we have a joke.
Yeah.
Like when you just open your arms through the window, and then you can touch the next building.
Wow.
And also like the old district and the modern district, they are just like combined together. So it's like somehow you were in a corner of the traditional construction area, and then when you turn, and then it's the next one, some modern design and like tall buildings and yeah. And also, there are so many shopping malls in Hong Kong. Like, let's say we have metro. On every metro station, you will find a shopping mall.
Yeah.
And but in the same time, in this tiny area, it's so easily accessed to the nature. Yeah, we have so many nature parks, and we have so many campsites. Yeah, really, really. I only discovered this year because I have been away from Hong Kong for a few years. But
Yeah.
I'm so happy to discover that we have so many campsites and we have so many islands, and every island is worthy to visit. Yeah, which is kind of balanced.
Oh, I read about the new territory. What is there?
Yes. It's an area like in Hong Kong. Basically, we were divided into Kowloon, which is an area, and Hong Kong Island, and another area, and then new territories, and all others were the islands I was mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
The Neuters usually was the traditional Cantonese people when they first came to Hong Kong, and nowadays we still have like farming nature stuff in this area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you see like high buildings also there, or it's like farms and just land?
Both. I mean, if you go to a little bit more center area, you can see tall buildings. But if you go to a little bit countryside place, you will see farming, the gardens, the cows, the countryside parks.
Wow.
Yeah, fresh air.
If you could choose 3 aspects of your culture to put in a time box for the future, what would you put in it?
Okay. I think for this question, I would just generally put in a China's perception, not particularly for Hong Kong. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, the first one is like when we the first culture in Chinese is when we ask for abundance, we don't ask for ourselves, but also for other country or other people. Let's say like when you are taking care of your own elderly people from your family, you should not forget the other elderly who are not from your family. Maybe, for example, you respect your grandpa, but you love your grandpa, but also you love your friend's grandpa or the stranger's grandpa. And the same when you're taking care of the youngster or of the little one, and also care about others' little one. So it's kind of like win-win situation. Like nowadays, even for the political part, and China is doing a lot of like in Africa, in Central Asia, which is like a partnership with other country instead of like a competitor. So I really admire this one. And the second one, it's like diversity, because like you guys have been to China, so you may notice we have 56 ethnic. Like we have Muslim people, we have Christian and Buddhism, and we have like Tajik Chinese and Uzbek Chinese and and Mongolian Chinese, and so on total we have 56. So China is really we have a really like a diversity, a community around the whole country. So multicultural is important because in my perception, it's like a miniature of the world, because the world is huge, and our culture is so different. Our different perception, but in the end, we are one. We are the same. What we need, other people also need. And thirdly, I will just like move back to Hong Kong, which is like when I was in Hong Kong, we have a culture which is when you were as a student, either you are primary school or secondary school, we have the program to encourage students to do volunteers since they were little. So I think it's very good. Since you were young, you were being told to contribute yourself for the society. That's a very good mindset in my perception.
Wow, that's good.
Yep. So I think that's it.
What culture besides your own do you admire, and why?
I think a Latin America culture, it's like whenever they are happy or they are not happy, they just dance, and then when they just dance, and then the unhappiness just shakes it off. I mean, nothing big deal after you just shake it. And then because Chinese people, the traditional one, usually we don't dance unless if you are not like the hand, the hand. I don't know if you understand the Han. We have different like
it's a group of people, right?
Yeah, but majority of Chinese people is Han. So like we don't usually dance, and if you just dance, then people will think you are weird. But it's really nice. I think like you move a little bit, and then it's like you connect with your body, and then it's kind of like energy. And also I like them to greet each other. They will just hug, like cheek to cheek. It's really bring people much more closer to each other. Like even sometimes when I was in Latin America, I don't know people, but we greet each other with their minor, and then I feel like I'm more connected with them. So, which I really like it.
Yeah. When you said we don't dance, you mean young people? Because we saw so many grandfathers, grandmothers. Yeah, they were dancing on the street, just group of them. It was so nice.
Yes, I understand. Like they dance in the square. What I was trying to say is like not only like when you were dance with a group of people. Like let's say in the family, you don't like suddenly. Oh, you can dance a little bit. It's not like in Central Asia when people feel happy, they would dance, right? But in China, we don't have this culture, or especially for a particular the bigger group of people.
Yeah. Okay. What is your favorite place to visit with your family, friends, or on your own?
My favorite place with my family. Actually, before when I was studying in Hong Kong, I certainly spent much time with my family because everyone's busy with their own stuff.
Yeah.
And normally we gathering with drinking tea, but this kind of tea is like the Chinese tea, combined with the dim sum, which is a selection of food. They use the bamboo basket and to steam. They have like a salted food or sweet food. So you just eat the food and drink the tea and gathering with family, which is very typically a kind of gathering. And also, if I want to have a walk, perhaps we will go to Victoria Harbour because there's a Star Avenue. You can just walk along the seaside. And in the future, I would say I would like to my family and I go to more like nature, connect with them, hiking, camping, and discover more islands in Hong Kong because there are more than 100 or something like that. Yeah, so I think it's very important you connect with the environment. Not always in the city, speed up and you need to relax a little bit and see the really original things, what the nature offered to us.
Yeah. And
with friends, because I'm not, I like outdoor more than indoor. So with friends, sometimes we go to malls, and sometimes we go to hike, we go to bicycle, and something like that. But myself, I really love nature. Yeah, I love all the outdoor, and also there are so many beaches, really nice beaches in Hong Kong. So I enjoy the beach, and then exercise. I'm big fans of camping and hiking, stuff.
Wow. Yeah,
and also some local gallery I like to discover, and and some remote islands. Yep.
Yeah, and one question that I'm really curious about: tea is just the normal tea or tea with milk?
Oh, so in Hong Kong, let's say yang cha. Yang cha is kind of drinking Chinese tea with the dim sum. Okay. Another tea is like afternoon tea. Afternoon tea, we will have like the English breakfast tea with milk. And actually, milk tea is also another signature drink in Hong Kong, because from the history, we were colonial by the British.
Yeah.
So we have the habit, like during the day, let's say 3:15 in the afternoon, people normally prefer to have afternoon tea. So during this time, most people prefer to drink milk tea. And there's another signature drink in Hong Kong. They combined the milk tea with coffee together. They call it Yin Chan. I don't know how to translate that in English, but it's like a combination with the milk tea and coffee. But I think this is quite unique. I certainly hear some other place they got this kind of drink.
Yeah, I've never tried.
So we drink Chinese tea with dim sum, and then we drink milk tea with afternoon tea.
Oh, wow. Good. And you said that Chinese don't dance. What about singing and karaoke? Do Chinese sing?
I think Chinese people is much more better good at singing than dance. Because in Hong Kong we are the same. We have like karaoke, right? Perhaps you guys have seen that in mainland China. And I still remember when I was a secondary school student, like sometimes we have K lunch. K is like a karaoke, the short form, K lunch. So we just go to the karaoke, and then they will have like a buffet. And if you're a student, you will get like a discount, and you get the drinks, get the food, and get to sing karaoke. Wow, fantastic day.
Wow, sounds fun.
Yeah, but like I haven't experienced that for a while, more than 10 years, I believe. But still, people love to gathering with the karaoke. It's the same.
Yeah, okay. If a group of people just came to your hometown from overseas, what advice would you give them in terms of where to go, to what to try, I mean to eat, and to be careful of?
What advice? I would just I would just advise they go to the tourist office to get some paper information maps, guidelines, for a reference, just for a reference. And also, I would encourage them to talk to local people and get some advice, because the local advice is very unique if you want to experience something special. And what to eat, I will really recommend them to go to a place called Tai O. It's a fishing village. So nowadays the people still live by the at the sea level. They built like with the wood and build their house upon the water.
Wow.
It's like a water village. And in there's a bakery shop called I couldn't remember the name, but only like one bakery. They do Chinese doner. It's really so yummy. I mean, I tried doner in other country, but it's really, because the inside, the texture, they mix with the eggs, and it's like just so soft, and the outside's really crispy, and it's really delicious. Because before, I'm not a big fan about like sweet things, but that one is really highly recommended. I recommend it to everyone. That was in Tile Village. And also we have another kind of dessert. So as I mentioned, Hong Kong is a kind of a mixture with the Oriental and Western culture. So I mean, it can just like you can notice that from the food. Let's say we have egg tar. Egg tar, it's like it's a kind of tar but made with the eggs inside. I think like in Portugal they have kind of like tar, something like this. But in Hong Kong we have like our own way. This kind of like Western cooking. But also we have some dessert which is made by the traditional, very healthy Chinese recipe. It's kind of like dessert. In local language we call tonsai. Tonsai, if you just translate it into English, it means like sugar water, but it's kind of dessert, different ingredients, and it's very healthy, but also very sweet, yeah. And also the roast duck. The roast duck in Hong Kong is different with the one in Beijing. So the roast duck, also of course the dim sum. I know like in Canton province they have a dim sum, but I think somehow it's a little bit different and the Hong Kong one. And so many food and stray snacks. Just try and then until you try, you will know if you like it or not. And the advice, in my perception, Hong Kong it's very safe. But for the past we have some different demonstration or different politics. But nowadays, under the COVID, not much people demonstration and then I believe that in the future it's getting much better. And it's not much you have to pay attention or being alert. You can just be quite released. And if you get lost or you need some help, just easily ask people. I mean, if they speak English, they're more than happy to help you. I mean, for example, like me, if you ask me, I'm so happy to help you.
It reminded me the thing that I read yesterday. Is that true that no matter how far you go, you need just 1 hour to come back? It's not more than 1 hour. Any part of Hong Kong?
Well, not really. I mean, if you go to some, let's say some countryside parks or some islands, it can be taking longer. I know we are tiny, but still we have a little bit. Some place you need some longer time.
I see. Okay. What is the best time to visit your country or Hong Kong? Yeah, Hong Kong.
Oh, in my perception, it's all year round for Hong Kong because Hong Kong it's never too cold or never too hot because we never have snow here. So which is if you come in from a cold place to Hong Kong, you will have like a warm winter, and if you come in from let's say in the summer, and then like we have so many shopping malls, and the air conditioning is really strong, which is like somehow I don't totally agree because I still remember when I was a student, in the summer when we go to school, we have to wear a sweater, we have to wear a jumper because the air conditioning is so strong. I can't stand it that much, so I have to wear a coat when I was in the classroom. But when you go out, it's just like a hot summer. Yeah, so and then we have different festivals, either the traditional one or for the tourism. We have different festival in different months, so just come and enjoy. Yeah, in my perception, it's all year round.
Wow, that's good. That's not the same in Tajikistan. It's only summer at that time. Spring is also good. Late spring.
How's Fujian now? Is it snowing?
It's not snowing, but still cold and it's cloudy. All right. Ian, the last question. If you don't mind, if some of our listeners have any questions about Hong Kong, is that okay if they contact you, ask you some questions? Yeah, how people can find you?
Yeah, because it's more than okay. I'm more than okay to help people, because when I travel, there's so many people helped me. So now it's time to helping people back. And I like to introduce to traveler or newcomer about my city, where to go, what suggestion to take, and I'm more than happy to help. And thank you so much for offering me this great opportunity.
Then we will add your contacts in the description so people can find you there.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Come on, add more.
Videos. All right, Ian. Thank you so much for taking your time. It was so nice to talk to you, and thanks a lot for the advice. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Thank you so much for having me here and then talk. Have a conversation with you guys via the air, and cyber hacks to you all, and all the best for your podcast. And I think it's very good, great ideas. And I represent all the audience to thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and how to say goodbye in Cantonese?
Joy game. Hula joy game means okay, bye. Usually people just say bye bye.
Bye bye. Yeah. Hola, Jaikin. Thank you for listening, everyone. We hope that you found this episode entertaining and educational. We will be back soon with another brand new episode. If you would like to get in contact with us, our email address is theachilles@gmail.com. Until next time, bye.
Okay, so please hug each other.
Yeah, we need to cut this part.